So last week I did a video reacting to some interesting takes on TikTok, and today it's time for Twitter to get the smoke. Now Twitter, surprisingly, if you guys don't know, is actually my most used social media platform, which is crazy because it's like literally the least monetizable platform out there. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you guys want to participate in future iterations of this series. But a couple weeks ago, I asked Twitter to send me some hot takes because React Souls was in the building, and he's in the building right now. We're going to be doing this video in the Let's Argue Anthony Fantano style of things. So shout out to Anthony Fantano. I'm taking your mantle today, man. Bethany Solstano is here. Shout out to this person right here for suggesting the color for the mic for this video. We're going with pink. Leave a comment in the comment section to let me know which color y'all want to see next. Leave a like on the video if you guys want me to do more Let's Argue videos like this. And also a big shout out to the sponsors of this video, Manscaped.com. Manscaped created the world's first all-in-one manscaping kit that makes manscaping safe and easy. Now, obviously, I've checked my YouTube analytics, and when you check out the analytics, I know most of the people that watch my videos are boys. Shout out to the boys. And let's just keep it a stack. Let's keep it a bean. We got some crown jewels to take care of. And Manscaped is here to help y'all be fresh, be clean, and give y'all the best experience when doing that process. I'm happy to be one of the first people to receive the new Lawnmower 3.0 water-resistant body trimmer, the only trimmer on the market made with advanced skin-safe technology, which reduces nicks and cuts from manscaping accidents. It's got a powerful 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, has a premium 90-minute battery with a rapid charging dock powered by USB. It's cordless, it's water-resistant, perfect for trimming in the shower, has a built-in LED that illuminates grooming areas for closer and more precise trimming. And when you buy the Perfect Package 3.0 Essential Kit, you get the Lawnmower 3.0 water resistant trimmer plus all of these great add-ons. Like, bro, y'all are getting ball deodorant and toning spray. Come on, man. Come on. And for a limited time, y'all can get a travel bag and anti-chafing boxers with the kit as well. Get 20% off and free shipping on manscaped.com using code BSouls. Once again, that is 20% off and free shipping using code BSouls on manscaped.com. Look, man, all I'm saying is they are called crown jewels for a reason, and you got to keep your jewelry clean. And once again, shout out to manscaped.com for sponsoring this video. But with that being said, let's get into these takes, man. The first take we're gonna cover today is from my good friend Nick Smith. Shout out Nick Smith. And he says the Miami Heat are good enough to make the finals based on the teams they've beaten during the regular season in the East. Look, unlikely, but I still have a level of belief that tells me anything is possible. I agree. I honestly agree. A couple weeks ago, I talked about the weaknesses of the Milwaukee Bucks, and one thing I didn't mention in that video, and honestly just went over my head, is the fact that the Miami Heat are really well equipped to take advantage of those weaknesses as well. The biggest weakness the Milwaukee Bucks have is three-point defense, and the Miami Heat are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. They also have a bunch of bodies that can throw at Giannis, and they have a terrific coach in Eric Spoelstra. And the Miami Heat are just a team that I don't really think any team wants to face at any round, because they're a really deep team. They're a very well coached team. They have talented players, and they're nasty, man. They're nasty. Just a disclaimer, I am recording this September 1st, so hopefully I wasn't wrong with that take too much, and hopefully the Bucks didn't like beat them in 5. Alright, the next take we got is from MJs Go, and he says that Ja Morant and Zion Williamson will be on different teams in 5 years. And once again, I'm gonna have to agree. Or, I'll say this, right? I'll agree more than I disagree. And the biggest reason for that is because the Milwaukee Bucks are a small market team, and it's really hard to get superstar caliber free agents to come to a city like Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee Bucks are extremely lucky that Giannis even developed into the superstar that he became. So while the Memphis Grizzlies do have Jaren Jackson, and they have a really good young core, while the Pelicans have also a great young core, they have Brandon Ingram alongside Zion, they have Lonzo Ball. Those franchises just don't scream free agency potential. And as long as that's the case, and as long as the biggest stars in the league are in big market teams, I think that is the trend the NBA is going in. But hopefully we don't, man. We always love to see a one player on a one team type career. It's a nice sight to see. The next take we got is from DJ Bucks1, and he says that James Harden should have 3 MVPs. And I disagree. Now, when I say this, I'm not trying to discredit what James Harden has done in his career. He's had some extremely phenomenal seasons. Now, 2018, I agree. I think he wholeheartedly deserved that MVP. The next season that really has a legitimate case would be 2017, because James Harden was putting up ridiculous numbers on par with Russell Westbrook, albeit not averaging a triple-double. He led the Houston Rockets to 55 wins, if I remember correctly, and the dude was just balling. But if you're alluding to 2015 being that third year he should have won an MVP, I disagree. The reason why people believe James Harden deserved the MVP over Russell Westbrook in 2017 was once again because he put up monster numbers and led the Houston Rockets to more wins than the Oklahoma City Thunder while being in the same conference. So when you look at the 2015 season, I don't know how you can use that same logic with James Harden when it was Steph Curry who was putting up the monster numbers, when it was Steph Curry who led his team to the best record in the league by far. The next take we have is from Khalil, and Khalil says the same people that's calling for LeBron to win MVP this season were the same ones that said KD or Steph couldn't be in the conversation because they were on the same team. Same thing happened when Kobe hit MVP level. Him nor Shaq could win it. I agree, because when KD joined the Golden State Warriors, the big thing was, yeah, Steph's not winning more MVPs or KD's not winning MVPs because that team is too stacked. And saying Steph led the Warriors to 67 wins isn't gonna mean that much when you have such a stacked roster. And again, like he said, the same thing happened in the early 2000s when Kobe and Shaq were hitting it at the same time. Pause. Let me say that again. The same thing happened in the early 2000s when Kobe and Shaq were both in their prime and were both 30-point per game scorers. Obviously, the league is going to prefer Allen Iverson, who led his team to 56 wins compared to the Lakers, who won around 60-ish wins when Allen Iverson had much less help. They're going to prefer a Tim Duncan, who's going to lead his team to just about the same amount of wins in the same conference without having that superstar right next to him. And I think it's kind of hypocritical that that logic is not applying to LeBron this season, but it is what it is, man. Y'all know how the media works. But, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, Giannis still won it, so it's not that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying? The next take we have is for Will Hosford, and he says, barring injury, Luka will be the greatest player of all time when it's all said and done. And me personally, I disagree. Okay, let me say this. Like with the second take, I disagree more than I do agree. Because so far in his career, which is 2 years, Luka is technically on pace. He hasn't done anything that has said that he's not on pace. But when it comes to the GOAT conversation, I mean, look at LeBron's career and how much he's accomplished, right? He had extremely high expectations going into the league, and if anything, exceeded those expectations even more. But when we're talking about the GOAT conversation, the people at the top of the top, let's just keep it a buck. Most of it is just nitpicking. A lot of those players are in the same tier, but when you're talking about who's number 1, when you're talking about who's at 3 and who's at number 8, we're really just nitpicking careers. And I said this a couple years ago when Giannis was really coming onto the scene. Giannis can literally fulfill his potential, which he is doing, but when we get into the GOAT conversation, those first round exits are gonna matter. Those underperformances are gonna matter. Him taking 3 to 4 years to get to that level matters. When LeBron in year 2 was already a 27-point per game scorer, when Jordan came into the league and was a 28-point per game scorer, those type of things are gonna matter. And while again, so far in his career, Luka is on pace to, you know, be in that conversation, I just can't go with he's gonna be the greatest of all time when it's all said and done, when we know for a fact what being the GOAT means and what that entails. And speaking of nitpicking, perfect tweet, perfect timing. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Thank you, Brady, says Bill Russell is greater than Kareem. Now, looking at your profile picture and looking at the name, I'm assuming you're a Boston fan, so there's a little bias going on here. That's fine. Everyone's biased to a certain degree, but I'm gonna have to disagree on this one. I'm gonna have to disagree. But if you guys have watched my greatest of all time top 50 video, you guys would know that, okay, if I remember correctly, I do have both of them in the same tier. And if I don't in the graphic, I'm pretty sure I mentioned specifically in the video that I see the argument and that they are in the same tier. And this is coming from a guy who knows Bill Russell's impact. I'm not one of those people that discredits him for having the competition that he had and saying all these just trash takes, if I'm being honest. And at the same time, I'm not a Kareem D-rider. I've made a video saying that Kareem's overrated, and I still stand by those points till this day. Try to watch a video before you go crazy in the comment section. But a quick side tangent, let's talk about Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain first. Because for me, what puts Bill Russell over Wilt is that despite him not putting up the numbers that Wilt did, he was just a by far better leader. He didn't have as many underperformances in the playoffs, and he made the most of the talent around him. But with Kareem, I feel like you have this really good balance of getting the leadership of a Bill Russell. Maybe not as good, but you know, around there, but you're also getting the numbers of a Wilt Chamberlain in terms of totals at least. But I feel like with Kareem, he's like in this perfect middle ground of, you know, having the winning on his resume. He has 6 championships, he has a couple finals MVPs, he has 5 regular season MVPs, but also while he didn't put up Wilt numbers, he still put up really good numbers and had really great longevity. So that's why I got Kareem over Bill Russell. But again, to me, they're on the same tier. Next take we got is from Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. I always see this dude like being the first person to like my tweets, so shout out to you. But he says LeBron James is a better player than MJ, but does not have a better legacy. And I'm gonna have to disagree, but I'm not gonna go crazy into it. To me personally, I think Michael Jordan has a better legacy and he was a better player as well. But I will have to agree with you in the sense that I feel like their individual skill sets, and comparing LeBron at his best and Michael Jordan at his best is closer than comparing their careers. And that applies to many of the players in the top 13. I think comparing prime Shaq to prime MJ is going to be closer than comparing their whole careers as a whole. Compare Tim Duncan even to MJ, compare Wilt to MJ, compare Magic, compare Larry. I think most of these players, when we're talking about prime versus prime, is going to be closer than their whole careers. Because when you get into careers, it's again a lot of nitpicking. And the last take we're going to talk about in this video is from, I'm not even going to, this guy, this guy. And he says DWade and James Harden isn't a competition. And I'm going to have to agree for now. Keyword for now. Because I'm a person that values winning a lot, right? I'm a person that also just doesn't look at the offensive end, and I know what DWade brings defensively. I also know the underperformances in James Harden's career. But the knock with DWade to me is longevity. Because after the 2011 season, he declined pretty fast from that superstar status. And aside from 05 and 06, there just weren't many years in DWade's career where he led the Miami Heat as the best player to really anything significant. But when you look at James Harden, the consistency and the durability he brings to the table is insane. And he's been leading the Houston Rockets to a top seed in the Western Conference, which is something that's extremely hard to do really consistently. And I think at some point that level of consistency and that longevity, if he keeps this up, is just going to bury DWade's career. But honestly, even if we get to that point, as long as DWade has that 06 run, as long as DWade is better defensively in his prime than James Harden will ever be, and as long as James Harden does have those choking performances under his belt, I still think that will be a conversation. That's still going to be a debate we're going to have on Twitter and just everywhere. But that's going to be it for all the takes we're going to cover in this video. Leave a like on this video if you guys want me to do more of these. Follow me on Twitter to participate in these videos whenever I ask for these takes of yours. And keep it honest, like put in takes that you actually believe in. Don't just try to make it in a video. Shout out again to Manscaped.com for sponsoring this video. Like, subscribe, y'all know the drill, but your boy is out.